Let's talk Godzilla, people, and I'm sure many of you won't like this, but here goes. Godzilla, 1998, holds a special, slightly ridiculous place in my heart. And here's the funny bit. I haven't watched it in over 20 years. Why? Because I loved it when I was 8, and I know full well that if I watched it now, grown-up me would tear it apart like a packet of crisps. And that's fine, really. It wasn't a film for adults with spreadsheets, logic, and tiny YouTube channels. It was for us, the kids of the world who wanted massive monsters, even bigger explosions, and, inexplicably, an enormous pile of fish. God, I loved that scene. Watching Godzilla back then wasn't just fun, it was everything. As a kid, you don't care about cheesy dialogue, wonky science, or the fact that Matthew Broderick spends the entire film looking like someone's told him he's in the wrong movie. None of that registers when you're staring in awe as a skyscraper-sized lizard stomps New York into rubble. It was glorious chaos. You weren't there for Oscar-winning performances. You were there to see buildings fall down and helicopters get batted out of the sky, just like you imagined when you were playing with your toys. Playing with toys didn't need to make sense. Your favourite figure would just win, no questions asked, and be the hero before dinner. Rinse and repeat until a new toy was bought. Now, if I watched Godzilla as an adult, I'd be appalled. I'd probably mutter things like, "That's not how genetics work," or "Why is radiation being treated like a minor inconvenience?" But none of that mattered when I was 8. Back then, it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. That's why I refused to rewatch it, because Godzilla wasn't made for the cynical, tea-drinking me of today. It was made for the me who thought Santa definitely delivered Christmas presents and that dinosaurs might still be hanging out in a jungle somewhere, waiting for David Attenborough to discover them. That was the beauty of this film. It wasn't trying to be a masterpiece or a love letter to hardcore Godzilla fans. They are a hard crowd to please, let me tell you. It was just a massive, silly, over-the-top adventure made for kids who wanted to see a giant lizard wreck Manhattan on the big screen or on video if you were lucky enough to pop down to Blockbuster, and it delivered on that front. Sure, some people moaned about the lack of atomic breath or how it's not real Godzilla, but honestly, 8-year-old me didn't care or even know better. I was too busy pretending I was in the helicopter, looking at a lizard the size of a small country. Looking back, it's clear this film was more about spectacle than sense, which is probably why it came with one of the most aggressive marketing campaigns ever. The endless plastic toys and collaborations were great. I had several Godzilla toys. It wasn't just a movie for me, it was a massive part of my childhood. For me, it felt like the biggest thing since Pokemon cards. Yes, it was ridiculous, but I loved it. So, no, I'll never rewatch it because I'm not letting adult logic ruin a perfect childhood memory. But how about you? Did Godzilla leave you slack-jawed in awe, or were you one of those sensible types who spotted the flaws straight away? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this little stroll down memory lane, give it a like. My inner 8-year-old would be chuffed to bits.